Recording in progress. So tonight's live training is going to be something that I've been wanting to discuss with people for a while with these live trainings that we're doing, and it's because it is the most asked question I get from potential clients or even new clients or people who just message me and want information and need to know how long is this going to take? How long is this thing going to take? That's what I get quite frequently is how long is this thing going to take? So this thing is going to take as long as it needs to take because there are so many facets with regards to how long the process is going to be for you to pursue whatever goals it is that you are looking to pursue. It's absolutely a loaded question and not one that's answered very easily. So I'm actually going to go through some things that can help you to determine, okay, how long is this thing going to take? Am I doing the right things? Am I making reasonable goals? So on and so forth, because that's kind of what it all comes down to. And then what's the plan? What is your plan? So again, if you've got questions, please make sure that you ask them. I've got the chat pulled up here on my phone. I've got so many devices happening right now, but let's get started. So, how long is this thing going to take? Well, there's no one answer for everyone. There's not. I have to ask a whole bunch of follow-up questions to go along with how long is this thing going to take? So, my number one question that I need to know from you is what is your short-term goal? What short-term goals do you have in place that you have to meet within a specific time frame? Are you wanting to reasonably and realistically lose 25 pounds by a specific event? Let's say you have a wedding to attend in 2 months. Summer's coming, right? Summer weddings. Do you expect to lose 25 pounds in 2 months? Do you have an expectation to lose 100 pounds in 1 year? What are your short term goals? And I say short term because anything within a year, I call a short term. So you can lose consistently with consistent effort, but that doesn't mean that you're going to hit goals that are that big in that time frame. And then the next question is it because you have a certain size of something that you're trying to fit into? Is it because you're like me and you bought your wedding dress two sizes too small? True story. Bought my wedding dress 2 sizes too small. Guess what I had to do? Get it altered. Half fabric had it. But that's a story for another time. I thought if I was consistent enough with my Weight Watchers that I was doing at the time, oh yeah, no problem. I will lose these inches off of my body in order to fit into this particular size wedding dress. Oops. But more importantly, why is it so important that you hit those specific numbers in that specific time frame? Again, is it that you have an event coming up? Is it that you are challenging yourself to do something dramatic in a short period of time? What happens if you don't hit those goals? Is that going to be a failure? That's a question you have to ask yourself. Sorry, guys, I'm looking for comments. I'm getting all sorts of stuff. Um, so you need to look at what is the reasoning behind having to lose a specific amount of weight in a specific amount of time. And then the question is, okay, do you care if you're losing muscle or do you actually want to lose fat? Are you okay if it's inflammation that comes off of you. Because I can tell you the first, we'll say the first month that somebody makes a lifestyle change, they change up how they're eating, and it's specifically how they are eating, they will see this dramatic weight loss happen in their bodies. And I'm going to say probably 75% of that is going to be excess water weight, inflammation that is finally being freed and purged from your body because you have stopped eating so many inflammatory foods, inflammatory seed oils, inflammatory alcohol, whatever it is that you might be consuming on a regular basis. You stop consuming those things and the weight just seems to melt off of you in the first month. It is not uncommon for somebody to lose 10 to 15 pounds the first month after they change from the standard American diet to a low carb, cleaner way of eating. And most of that is going to be water weight that's coming off of your body. So, is that all you care about? Because it might help things fit a little bit better if you're going for that, that dress to fit, but it may not reflect anything else that's happening. So, what is the reason you have to hit that specific number within that specific time frame? And is it going to be a failure in your mind if you do not hit it? Then what are you going to do? That's a question you need to ask yourself. If you don't hit this 25-pound weight loss in 2 months, what are you going to do? What's going to happen? Are you going to keep going or are you going to quit? I saw Marianne said, that's me. When I fail, I quit. And Julie, she lost 20 pounds in her first month. That's what I said, not uncommon for all that inflammation to, that's what they call the whoosh effect. When you change your way of eating is you'll have this drastic drop on the scale. You may not necessarily see it everywhere else, but you might see it in how you feel as opposed to how you look. But we're not going to let the scale control our life and our happiness anymore, right? I disclosed to everybody on Saturday what my weight is right now. I'm not ashamed of it because guess what? It used to be all about being skinny and it's not like that anymore. So, next question is, what are your long-term goals? Have you even thought about long-term goals? What is a long-term goal? Like, is it 2 years? Is it 5 years? Do you have a 5-year plan? Do you have a 10-year plan? No. I mean, I'm talking whether you're 30 years old or you're 60 years old. Long-term goals should be in the picture because, again, how long is this thing going to take? How long is it going to take me to hit certain goals? Well, what are they? Are they short-term goals? I need to fit into a dress by June. Is it a long-term goal? I want to be able to climb Flatiron when I am 91 years old, like Flatiron Jim does. Yes, that is a real person. And yes, he might be 92 now. And he climbs Flatiron like once a week when he's here for the winter. Do you want to be climbing mountains when you're 92 years old? Your goal, your long-term goal can be to stay exactly where you're at right now for the next 20 years. If you're in a good place, if you're happy with where you are right now, okay, your long-term goal should be this is where I am at age 48. This is where I still want to be. This is the energy that I want to have. This is the power I want to have. This is the strength I want to have when I am 70. I want to be able to get off of the floor. How many memes and jokes go around at Christmas time about people getting on the floor to wrap Christmas gifts and then they're stuck there for a week because they can't get up off the floor? It's funny, haha, at the time, but it is a very real issue as people age. Do you want to be stuck on the floor? Do you want somebody to have to help you get up off the floor, or do you want to be able to get up on your own? That is a long-term goal. When you're in your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, to be able to function as a normal human being without being assisted nonstop. I'm reading your comments. Marianne says she can't climb mountains right now. You know what? It's never too late. Never too late to start. So think about long-term goals. And again, they don't have to be these grandiose things, but how long is this going to take? I don't know. How long do you plan on living? Because that's something to think about. Is this something that I am good doing for the remainder of my life? If that's the case, then you better hope it takes you a really, 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 really long time. Because if you're not still pursuing that goal, what's the alternative, right? This is the most challenging thing for people to really look inside when I ask them this question. What are you doing to keep your progress moving forward? What are you doing to move closer to whatever this goal is, short term, long term, whatever it is? What are you doing every single day to get a little bit closer to what it is that you want to achieve? Are you being honest with me as your coach? Heck, are you being honest with yourself? Because if you're telling yourself lies that, oh, I didn't eat that much. Oh, this one time isn't going to hurt me. Oh, this weekend isn't going to hurt me. Oh, this week isn't going to hurt me. I'm on vacation. I had a client tell me today, I got to the airport and I'm like, airport mode. And then she was like, wait, whoa, what am I doing? No, I still have things I plan on doing. I still have stuff I want to achieve. I can't be saying, oh, wait, I'm in the airport. Airport rules apply. Nothing else matters. Are you being honest about what you're doing? Are you being consistent in your progress? Or are you taking 2 steps forward and then 3 steps backwards? Because life happens. Life is going to happen. Things are always going to come up. You have to have a plan in place in order to continue when life happens. Somebody said this weekend, if life happens and you get completely derailed from what you're doing, you have not made a lifestyle change. Think about that. You talk about a lifestyle change, but if you let stressors, death in the family, trips, even again, happy occasions trip you up, birthday parties, holidays, whatever. If you let those things completely derail you, you have not made your lifestyle change. You are still kind of in diet mentality, diet mode. So, um, yeah, never mind being honest with me as your coach, but you need to be truthful with yourself with regards to what you're eating, what you're drinking, how your movement is, lifestyle improvements. And when I say lifestyle improvements, it doesn't just mean diet. It means, how's your stress? How are you coping with stress? How's your sleep? We talked a lot about sleep this past weekend and how unbelievably important sleep is. How is your day-to-day routine? How is your social life? How are your relationships with people? That's all something to think about because that can also determine how long something is going to take to happen. Do you have a support system? Are you in a supportive community? Even if you don't have people that are your neighbors who want to potentially live a healthier, more active lifestyle, do you have somewhere that you can go to, that you can reach out to for the support, for the community that you need? You do here in this group. Absolutely. That's why I created this group. Marianne, we did not tape the Arizona low carb collab. We didn't have the finances to do something like that this year. So, but don't worry, I've got some speakers in mind to bring on and go over what they talked about this weekend. So the lifestyle is just as important as the movement, as the diet. You need to make actual life changes. Things, again, keep it sustainable. You don't have to go all in or nothing, right? We don't want all or nothing, but we need to start making those improvements to our life to figure out how long it's going to take us to get to that place. What are you consuming? This is another big one. How long is it going to take me to hit these goals? How long is this thing going to take? Well, what are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you still holding on to that you refuse to give up? Are you still consuming alcohol? Are you still consuming ultra processed foods and unhealthy carbohydrates? Are you still consuming sweets? I learned about the various sweeteners, artificial and natural, that will still continue to trigger insulin. With all of the other natural sweeteners that are out there that we are encouraged to use to help us with our sweet tooth when we have issues with moderation and real sugar and all that, well, guess what? There's still sweeteners that are causing insulin responses that will make our insulin go up. So, are you refusing to get rid of the sweet stuff in your life? Are you refusing to not have that satisfaction of something sweet that you're eating every single day or even once a week? How long is this thing going to take? Well, guess what? If you're keeping your insulin up, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a lot longer than you want it to. How is your metabolic health? I know that's like a very wide array of things. I'm not just talking about metabolic syndrome, which, there's like 8 different things that fall under that category. But do you have chronic illness? Are you do you have metabolic syndrome? Are you insulin resistant or type 2 diabetic? How are your hormones? I love to talk about hormones. You guys know that, especially females. You need to know where your hormones are, and not just your sex hormones, all the other hormones in our bodies too. Get labs done frequently while you are on your journey. The first 2 years that I did this, I had my labs done every 3 months to keep an eye on how things were trending and what I may have needed to improve on or cut out of my diet or change in my lifestyle to improve those things. Because if you are metabolically damaged, it is going to take time to heal those things. It is going to take time for your body to reverse insulin resistance, to reverse type 2 diabetes, to put chronic illness in remission. If you've been dealing with something for 10 years, it is not going to fix itself in a month or two. 6 months? Maybe. It depends on how diligent you are. But that healing will trump fat loss. That healing is going to take a lot longer and, quite frankly, is a lot more important than you looking good in a bikini. You need to heal the damage that has been done to your body for all these years. You did not get chronically ill in a 1 year period unless you were living a crazy rock star lifestyle. So figure I've been damaging my body for 10, 20, 30 years. I've been abusing myself. It's going to take time to heal from that, but I have to stay consistent on what I am doing. I can't give up because I get frustrated because I don't see something happening that I want to see happening. Improvements are everywhere, not just on the scale or with your clothing size. I did not get super frustrated during my 19, 20-month stall that I had because I know how metabolically damaged I was. I knew how much healing my body had to do. And if it took a break from the fat coming off of my body for that to happen, okay, let's do it. Because I still watched my labs, and my labs were what actually told the true story. So long as those numbers were improving, even if I wasn't seeing movement on the scale, I was succeeding. I was winning. I was moving forward with my progress. I wasn't taking 3 steps back because my scale wasn't going down. So, guys, I've been on my journey almost 5 years, and I am not done. How long is this going to take? It's a great question. And that's me. I'm asking myself, how long is this going to take? It's going to take as long as it takes. I know it's not necessarily the answer you want to hear, but it's the truth. Do you have an end date in mind? And this comes back to both long-term and short-term goals. When I talked about my long-term goals being it's a goal up until the day I die. So do you have an end date in mind, or are you playing the long game like me? What happens when you meet these goals? Whatever goals it has, whether it's one goal or 10 of them, what happens if you don't set any further goals for yourself? You've met all of your goals. Okay, then what? What is your next step going to be? Now I've done all my goals. I've succeeded. I'm finished. It took me this long. Okay, so then what? What's the plan? Is that diet mentality going to come back into your life where you start and you stop and you start and you stop? Well, I hit this goal, so now I can go back to doing this or behaving this way. And then when things start to get ugly again, oh, okay, I gotta do it. I gotta turn it around again. I gotta go back to this low carb. I gotta do keto. I gotta do carnivore. I gotta lift weights. Is starting and stopping and starting and stopping going to do you any favors, or is it going to cause you more harm down the line? Constantly putting your body through that stress of doing amazing, living the ultimate healthy lifestyle, even when we slip up, because we all screw up. It's okay. But 80% of the time we are on it, man. We're hitting our goals. We are nailing our diets. We are doing our fitness. So what happens when you just like, okay, I'm good. I'm done. You hit the goal. How long is this going to take? It's going to take me 4 years. Okay, cool. Then what? What are you going to do? Are you going to stop moving forward, or are you going to continue, even if it's not monumentous steps that you're taking? Are you going to continue moving forward? That's something that you also need to figure out for yourself. Again, I'm almost 5 years into my journey. I have I have no finish line. There is no finish line in my life. I have certain goals I would love to hit, but if I don't, it's not the end of the world. I have certain things I want to do. Again, I want to climb that freaking mountain. I've been saying that for 3 years now. I still haven't climbed the mountain. That's still on my goal list. I have had setbacks. I have had physical, medical setbacks, but I did not stop moving forward. I had a 5-day long headache when I did my event on Saturday. And I kept a smile on my face the whole day. And I was chatting with people all day. And I was in excruciating pain that day. I did not stop. I kept moving forward. With regards to my health and my wellness and my fitness journey, I am never going to stop. I will continue moving forward. So, how long is this going to take? Does it matter? Does it really matter how long it takes? If it does, okay, cool. Let's set these goals. Let's make sure we are being consistent. Let's make sure we're not taking steps backwards. Let's make sure we are always moving towards our goals. Don't give up. Don't get frustrated. Don't let life happen. Learn to be bendy. That is one of my favorite things to say to people. And they usually laugh at me when I say it. And I'm like, what's the alternative to not being bendy? We either bend or we break. I think being bendy is going to be a little bit easier than breaking altogether and starting from scratch. How many times have you had to do that? How many times have you had to pick yourself back up and go forward again? How freaking hard is that? I did keto 2 times before I started doing keto again in 2020. That time it stuck. Actually, it may have been 3 or 4 times now that I'm thinking about it. I never went beyond 2 weeks because life would happen. Things would come up. I would have a bad day at work. I would get stressed out and I would stop on the way home and get fast food or pizza or Dairy Queen or whatever else it was because life happened and I did not want to have to deal with it and I didn't want to have to think about it and I didn't want to have to feel it. So then the progress I had made for those couple weeks, a month, whatever, gone. Because guess what? I didn't go right back to how I had been eating after I indulged in the pizza or the fast food or the ice cream. I just kept going down, spiraling down. So, how long is this going to take? That is probably 85% in your control. That is up to you. How long this thing is going to take. How serious you are going to take this. How you will push through the frustrations and the inevitable failures that you will have. We are not perfect. We are perfectly imperfect individuals. But we cannot let bad things that happen completely take us off track, completely derail us from what we want to happen in our lives. How long is this going to take? It's up to you. So let me see if there's any questions here. Oop, I just totally messed up. If I've got questions. Looks like it was just a lot of comments that were being made. Looking. Sorry, guys. All right. Does anybody have questions about their journey, about their progress, about how long things have taken for them so far? Okay, so Marianne, yes, she brought up an excellent point. She said she made a recipe with allulose a few weeks ago and had the worst stomach ache, even worse than consuming gluten because she's got a gluten intolerance. Well, I learned this past weekend that allulose causes your insulin to, and guess what I use for most of my recipes at the holidays? Allulose. So I am going to be eliminating that. Um, the two things that he stated were going to prevent you from having a glucose spike is stevia, actual stevia plant, not mixed with other garbage, which unfortunately the largest stevia producer that I used to buy from all the time has unfortunately sold, and there is now maltodextrin and other things that are blended in to their stevia, so it is not 100% stevia. Look at packages, guys. Look at the packages. Liquid stevia is probably going to be clean. Most of the time, it's these powdered things that they're throwing maltodextrin in to keep from clumping. It's an anti-caking agent, but it's also cheaper than, going pure, as if you want to call it that. And then liquid sucralose apparently does not raise your insulin levels, but everything else, monk fruit, allulose, erythritol, all those types of things that you see in keto recipes or low carb recipes, products, so on and so forth, they will cause you to have an insulin spike, which we do not want in our bodies because we're trying to get that sensitivity back and calm things down, especially if you are dealing with any form of insulin resistance. Let's see. Karen said she is going to be doing this forever. We had a great conversation today, didn't we, Karen? As she sat out there in that sun. So, yeah, guys, it's how long is this going to take? I can't tell you. I can't tell you how long it's going to take because there are so many factors to consider when looking into what it is that you want to accomplish to meet the goals that you have set for yourself, whether short term or long term, to be honest with yourself and what you're consuming and what you're doing, and how badly do you actually want to succeed in what it is that you're setting out to do. That is where why comes into play. I harp on my clients about their why. They hate me because I harp on them about their why. But then the other question, the other side is, why not? If you are not ready or willing or able to give up certain things that you continually consume, food items, alcohol, chronic stress, my gosh, you want to keep yourself a cortisol storm? Why won't you let go of those things? Why can't you let go? What is keeping you like this with whatever it is? What is keeping those strongholds and tying you down? Why not? I'm not ready to give this up. Why not? So we got why and we got why not. How long is this thing going to take is up to you. And what choices you make and the impact of those choices, how you respond to what you choose to do. All right. Well, it doesn't look like I've got any other questions. So I thank everybody so much for being on here. I've got so many more ideas of upcoming trainings and master classes that I'm going to do now since I was able to spend a Saturday with some incredible presenters, some of the smartest minds in the Phoenix area, Dr. Adam Nally, Dr. Brian Lenskis, Temple Stewart, and then Bronson and Nat actually came all the way from Virginia to speak to the crowd about a lot of the stuff that I talk about in my coaching as well, which makes sense because Bronson was my mentor. So we have a very strong connection as far as ideals and beliefs when it comes to moving forward with your health and wellness journey. So I thank everybody for being on here tonight. And if you've got questions, comment below in the live. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and comment, and I will get back with you with response. Other than that, have a fantastic Monday and a great rest of your week. Bye.